Shalom, shalom to the house of Israel. I'm your brother Benaiah of the South Arm of the Great Millstone Camp, Heralds of Yahushai, coming to you with a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Take this time to give all honor, all glory, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Harukapadash. Double honors to the apostles, prophets, and teachers of Great Millstone, our spiritual fathers who will well teach well. Now the lesson today is entitled, I'm going to show you from the scriptures, that hate or hatred done in the right way is indeed lawful. You have been told in the scriptures that you're not supposed to hate, right? But the scriptures have conditions where it is lawful to hate. And I'm going to show you some of them in the Bible. So don't fall victim and prey to the lies where somebody tell you it's a sin to hate. Now there's something known as righteous hatred and unrighteous hatred. An example of unrighteous hatred would be you hating your brother, which would be your fellow Israelite brother, and hating him to the point where you are desirous for harm to befall him, whether by a situation or whether at your own hands. That is an example of unlawful hatred, right? Examples of lawful hatred is to hate those who always occupy in evil, to hate the enemies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to hate our enemies. There's nothing sinful in it. So, without further ado, let's get to the first precept. Everybody telling you you're not supposed to hate. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, reading from verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. And pay attention to verse 8, showing you that hatred is not unlawful when it's practiced in the righteous way. It says there's a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. There are seasons for everything under the sun. And the Heavenly Father is the creator and the overseer of all these seasons. So if the scriptures in Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 3 tells you there's a time to love and a time to hate, how could you then say that hate is unlawful? Where you get that understanding from? Let's get another one. Let's get an example showing you a time to hate. Let's get 2 Chronicles 19 and verse 2. Right? 2 Chronicles chapter 19 and verses 2. It says, and Jehu, the son of Hanani the seer, went out to meet him and said to King Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate the Lord? Therefore is wrath upon thee from before Yahweh. So when you love those that hate Yahweh, instead of doing as David said, do I not hate them that hate thee, O Lord? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies. When you don't hate who the Lord hates, when you don't hate what the Lord hates, then you are an enemy of Yahweh. But the Christian church telling you hate is unlawful. Oh, you're not supposed to hate. I read a few scriptures showing you otherwise. Should you help the ungodly and love who the Lord hates? Read Psalms 83. You're seeing our enemies mentioned in Psalm 83. Should you love them? That will make no sense. Let's get another one. Let's get Luke chapter 14 and verse 26. Luke chapter 14 and verses 26. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Because this is what it takes to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You're going to be walking a path where your loved ones do not agree with. They're going to turn against you. But if you don't, what is the greatest commandment? Thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. You can't love your wife, your husband, your children, your friends, your brother, your sister more than Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And this is another example of practicing hate and righteousness. There are times you're going to have to cut off those people from among you, because why? They have no desire to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Let's get another precept. Let's get Psalms 26. Psalms 26 and verse 5. Psalms 26 and verse 5. It says, I have hated the congregation of evildoers and will not sit with the wicked. Who is the wicked according to the Bible? Malachi chapter 1 verses 3 and 4. It's Esau Edom. But you're coming to tell us you're not supposed to hate the wicked. That's a lie. You're supposed to hate them. It is lawful that you're supposed to hate them. Let's get another precept. Let's get Psalms 97 and verses 10. It says, ye that love Yahweh hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. So you're supposed to hate evil. Evil are acts that are committed by men. Let's get another one. Let's get Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 13. Proverbs 8 and verse 13. It says, the fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. If you fear the Lord, you're going to hate the things that he hates. And who does the Lord hate? He hates Esau Edom. He hates the other nation. He hates sinners. And you're going to hate what the Lord hates, and that is righteousness. Why David was never told he committed transgression for saying, I condemn my enemies. I hate them with perfect hatred. Why that wasn't named as one of David's transgression? This is Amos chapter 5 and verses 15. It says, hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahweh power of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. So, in closing, as you, Akim, could see, it is indeed lawful to hate, as long as the conditions match the situation. It is lawful. So don't let anybody come and try to tie up your head, meaning try to trick you or to deceive you. When they tell you you mustn't hate, they need to break down for you what type of hatred are you speaking about. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I'm your brother Abaniah saying Shalom, and see you for the next live lesson. Shalom.